Hello, welcome to Oceanic Oracle. My name is Ari and today I'm going to be talking about the books I'd like to read in August. So, I thought I'd give myself a little bit of a breather this month. I'm going to be letting myself read whatever I want. This is a stack that I think I'm going to read. I only have to read one book for certain this month. The rest of them I can pick and choose as I wish because I'm rewarding myself because I've read the most that I ever have in the past 2 months. So I'm just going to let myself chill out for a bit and relax because that's what I need this month. I guess I'll start with a book that I definitely have to read, and that's The Other Black Girl. I don't know too much about this. I've mentioned this before, but I've heard that this is a thriller that's sort of like The Devil Meets Prada, and that intrigued me. I'm glad we have to read this for book club. I'll let you know what I think about it. That's the only book I definitely have to read. One of the goals I have every month is to read a classic, and this month, hey look, it's this book again. I'm going to be reading the last play in this collection, which is Succulent Woman. Yes. Succulent Woman is, I think it's about wars that go on in Athens, and I think it's Euripides' response to these wars going on. I haven't heard a lot about Succulent Woman, so I'm hoping I enjoy it. I've enjoyed his other works, some of them not as much as others, but overall I recommend his plays. I really like them. Now on to the book that I'm actually thinking of starting the month off with, and it's Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry. This is a YA romance. It's about a girl whose journal gets stolen, and it's her journal full of lists of everything she wants out of life, and she's getting blackmailed for it. I think this is going to be good. I'm looking forward to reading it. I'll let you know my thoughts, and yeah, I'm excited. The next book I'd like to read is The Girls I've Been. This is a story about a con woman, and she goes into the bank one day with her girlfriend, and she bumps into her ex-boyfriend, and suddenly the bank is being robbed and everyone's being held at gunpoint. Now, from what I've heard, the only way that she can get out of that situation is by using all the skills she has in her back pocket. It's intriguing. I think she's given up on crime and that's why she has a girlfriend, but I'm not 100% sure. This is YA. Most of my books that I have this month are YA because in the summer I tend to read more YA fiction. It's just my reading habits. The next book that I have on my list is K-Pop Confidential. I was drawn in by the cover. It looks absolutely beautiful. I think I'm just a magpie. I love the shiny things. But this is about a girl in the States, and she's a Korean American, and she gets selected to go to this camp in Korea that could turn her into a K-pop star, but she doesn't really like what's going on there. She meets a few of her idols, and I think there's romance in here. I'm not 100% sure. I'm looking forward to picking it up. Who doesn't want to read about a new band? It's cool. The next book that I'd like to read this month is The Poppy War. Now, this is definitely not a YA book. This is an adult fantasy. There are lots and lots of trigger warnings before going into this book. I think before you go and pick it up, I would recommend looking at all of the trigger warnings that you can find on the internet. This is a story about Rin. Rin's status in society is really low because of her skin colour. She's a dark-skinned Asian woman, and she's seen as lesser than her other compatriots, and she has to fight for everything that she wants. She ends up training to go to this magical school where she can train to become a warrior or an assassin, I think. I'm not sure. And she's successful, which is great. I've heard quite a lot of good things about it. I'm really interested in reading this because this is based on, or semi-based on, historical events that happened particularly in my region of the world. I'm excited. I cannot wait to pick this up and see what I think. I don't think I'll get triggered because most of the stuff in here I think I can handle. hoping to pick this up this month. We'll see how I feel. On to the next book that I'd like to read, and that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. The reason I want to read this is because I want to read the next 2 books in the series, Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising. So I'd like to read these 2. I read this really quickly last year, thinking I would go on to these fairly quickly. Unfortunately I didn't, so that's my goal this month, to actually read the trilogy. Looking forward to that. I'd like to read Clara and the Sun this month, and this is about an AI who sits by the shop and observes people coming in and out of her shop, hoping that one day she'll get picked up. And it's about her discovering that maybe humans aren't all they're cracked up to be. Gosh, we know that. I'm looking forward to reading that. It's probably one of the releases I'm most excited to pick up from this year. So I'd like to read Uprooted by Naomi Novik as well. This is a Russian inspired fantasy. It's inspired by Russian folklore, I believe. It's a adult fantasy. I believe there's romance in here as well, which I'm looking forward to reading because I love good romance in things. Romance and fantasy. Can you think of a better combination? Romance and fantasy. So I like to read this Russian inspired fantasy. I'm looking forward to picking it up. Hopefully I'll get to it soon. Who knows, if I don't read it this month then it doesn't matter. I have a few other things but they're on my Kindle, so I think I will put them up on the side. I'd like to finish the fairy tale manga. I read up to, I think I'm on volume 38 of the series, so I'd like to finish the rest of them. They're all free right now on Kindle Unlimited, which is great. So I'd like to read those. I'm just going to end up mood reading all of fairy tale at this rate. I think that's my life, just mood reading manga. Oh well, could be worse. And finally, the last book that I would like to get to at some point this month is Air Awakens by, I think, Elise Kova. I have seen quite a few of her videos on Instagram, on the Reels function, and from the sounds of it, it sounds like something I would like. So I'm looking forward to picking it up. She's got 5 books in this series, so if I like it, then I can go and pick up the rest of them. I would get them on Kindle Unlimited, which is great and works really, really well. That is it. So I'm going to do a count of how many books I have on my I'd like to read pile. 11 physical books. So I'm hoping to read at least some of these. Probably not all, but some of them. And the few books on my Kindle as well. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you'd like more bookish content. I will leave a link up at the corner to some other videos that I think you should watch. If you've made it this far, please leave a comment and tell me what book you're looking forward to reading the most this month. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!